Welcome to Cognitia in Concise, the channel where complex ideas are broken down into clear, simple knowledge. Today, we're exploring one of the most controversial foods in the modern diet, milk. Over the last decade, milk has become a topic of intense debate. Some people believe it is essential for strong bones and good health, while others claim it causes cancer, heart disease, and even early death. So who is right, and why do humans drink milk at all? Milk is the first food of every mammal at birth. Our digestive systems are small and immature, and milk acts as a powerful starter fuel. It contains fat for energy, proteins for growth, vitamins and minerals for development, and lactose, a sugar designed to be easily absorbed in early life. Milk also provides antibodies and immune-regulating proteins that help protect newborns from infections. Producing milk requires a lot of energy from mothers. That is why, in nature, mammals stop drinking milk once they are weaned and move on to solid food for most of human history. This was also true for humans. This changed around 11,000 years ago. When humans began settling into agricultural societies, early farmers domesticated animals such as goats, sheep, and cattle. These animals could eat grass and other materials humans could not digest and turn them into nutritious food in times of famine or poor harvests. Milk greatly increased survival chances as a result. Communities that consumed dairy had an evolutionary advantage. Digesting milk requires an enzyme called lactase, which breaks down lactose. Babies naturally produce large amounts of lactase, but most humans stop producing it as they grow older. Today, about 65% of the world's population is lactose intolerant and cannot digest large amounts of milk. This trait is not evenly distributed in some East Asian populations. Up to 90% of adults are lactose intolerant, while rates are much lower in Northern Europe and North America. Random genetic mutations allowed some populations to continue producing lactase into adulthood. When dairy farming spread, these individuals had access to more food and better survival rates, causing the trait to spread through natural selection. If milk has been consumed for thousands of years, why is it so controversial today? Milk has been linked to many health concerns, including cancer, heart disease, bone health issues, hormones, antibiotics, acne, and digestive discomfort. However, large scientific reviews combining many studies have found no overall increase in cancer risk from milk consumption. Calcium may even have a protective effect against colon cancer. Some studies suggest a possible link between very high milk intake and prostate cancer, but the evidence is inconsistent. Research also shows no increased risk of heart disease, stroke, or overall mortality from milk or dairy consumption. Some studies even suggest dairy consumers may have slightly lower rates of high blood pressure. Although the evidence is not strong enough to be conclusive, milk is often promoted as essential for bone health. But studies in adults show neither strong positive nor negative effects. Milk can help meet calcium needs, but it is not the only way to maintain healthy bones. Milk does contain hormones, but only in extremely small amounts to consume the hormone equivalent of a single birth control pill. A person would need to drink around 5,000 liters of milk. Even then, most hormones would be broken down during digestion. Antibiotics and pesticides are strictly regulated in most countries. Milk that exceeds safe limits is not allowed to be sold. Some negative effects of milk are well established. Lactose intolerance can cause bloating, pain, and discomfort. Milk allergies, especially in children, are relatively common but often disappear with age. Skim milk has also been linked to an increased risk of acne. Overall, milk is a nutrient-dense food. It provides protein, fat, calcium, vitamin B12, and several B vitamins in regions where people struggle to get enough calories. Milk can support healthy development and reduce child mortality in developed countries. Milk is generally safe for people who are not allergic or intolerant. Children benefit from its calcium content, and vegetarians benefit from its vitamin B12. However, milk is not essential, and it is not a substitute for water. Drinking large amounts regularly can contribute to weight gain, especially when it is flavored or sweetened. Beyond health, milk production has a significant environmental and ethical cost. About 1/3 of global cropland is used to feed livestock. Dairy production is responsible for around 3% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than all airplanes combined. Industrial dairy farming often involves repeated forced impregnation of cows, separation of calves from their mothers, and slaughter. Once productivity declines, much of the milk we consume comes from a system that causes animal suffering and contributes to climate change. Plant-based milk alternatives vary in nutritional value. Soy milk comes closest to cow's milk, while others often need to be fortified. New technologies are also emerging, including lab-grown milk produced through fermentation, which is nutritionally identical to dairy milk. Most milk alternatives require less land, water, and energy than animal milk. From an environmental perspective, regional alternatives usually have the lowest impact. Milk is neither a poison nor a miracle food. It is nutritious and helpful for many people, but unnecessary for good health and costly for the planet. How we choose to consume it is ultimately a decision about nutrition, ethics, and environmental responsibility. Thank you for watching Cognitia and Concise. If you value clear thinking and evidence-based knowledge, consider subscribing. Until next time, stay curious and stay concise.